Man, someone get Michael Cole some cough drops or some lozenges. I'm going to eat my words here, man. I'm going to eat my words. It's a long night. I should be sleeping. In fact, I was actually going to save this for the AM, which it is the AM. It's 12:46 AM. I was going to save this for the early morning when I woke up, but I really can't contain myself because I've been up all night. I had 2 cups of coffee. I would say roughly about 36 ounces of coffee. And I sat with an iPad full at 100%, and it's near death at 5% right now. I sat down at 5 p.m. and I vigorously, and any other fucking Sean's View Entertainment word in the English language that he would use that rhymes, I sat down and I did it. Took notes all night since 5 p.m. I'm going to eat my words, man. WrestleMania was a really, really good WrestleMania. And I went into it very underwhelmed to begin with. Nothing about this show excited me except for less than a handful of things. The main event, which we'll talk about, obviously. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. AJ Styles and Randy Orton. Kofi Kingston and his quest for the WWE Championship. But even at the end of the night, I would say, outside of Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship tonight, there really wasn't that overwhelming WrestleMania feel as far as what we seen in the ring on that show tonight. Yeah, it had the grandeur. Yeah, it had the entrances. Yes, the crowd was lively through some of the show. Yes, the stage was WrestleMania-esque and the lighting was WrestleMania-esque. The fireworks were going off. But the overall feel of the show, by the end of the night, there really wasn't much as far as WrestleMania feel to me. But all in all, it was a very good show. And I would honestly say, as far as the last couple of WrestleManias that we've seen, dating back to WrestleMania 30, which I loved, with the whole Daniel Bryan chase, I honestly think this was probably the best WrestleMania in the last 10 years. And I'm being very fair in that judgment. This was a very good WrestleMania. Wasn't perfect by any means. This is not a 9 or a 10 WrestleMania, you fucking goons. This was more like a 6.5, I would say maximum 7. The one thing WWE needs to do from here on out, and I'm making this an overwhelming topic, and I'm not going to let this go through any year we talk about WrestleMania. These shows need to be cut down significantly. Not only for us watching at home, not only for the people attending the show, but my God, man, the crowd by the end of the Kofi Kingston match had reached its peak, and everything after that suffered because of the length of the show. You touted a first ever historic women's main event. A main event that featured 2 women's championships in a winner-take-all situation, and the crowd was half asleep for the majority of the match. That length for a WrestleMania show needs to come to an end, and this show should have ended by 10:30, 11 maximum. These shows are too long, and WWE does not know that the length of these shows is just killing the overall experience and vibe, momentum, feel of the entire show. That's all I will say on that. We'll go over everything as far as what I thought of the stage, what I thought of literally everything that happened tonight, man. I have so many notes here, extensive. I feel like Sean Ross Sapp right now. I really do. I feel like I'm a fucking news reporter with all the news and notes that I got, man. So we're going to go over all this shit right here on the podcast. This is your WrestleMania 35 official review, and I really wasn't excited going into this thing, man. I really wasn't. I really was not excited about it. But They turned me around by the time that first hour hit, and we were in at that 8 o'clock hour. I felt good, man. I'm like, you know what? This is a pretty decent show. This is a pretty decent show. And WWE actually got off on the wrong foot with the pre-show. I thought the pre-show was one of the worst pre-shows that they've ever done. And I didn't like anything on the pre-show at all. So we'll start at the top and we'll work our way up to the main event, because I know you guys have a ton of questions about what you seen in that very anticlimactic main event. First ever historic main event in which the crowd was fucking half asleep during most of it. We'll go over it right here on the podcast. First and foremost, follow me on social media, man. It's good to be back in the office, by the way. At JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. This is the night in which all of us in the community gain the most traction as far as subs, viewership, and everything else that goes along with being a content creator. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications if you guys want the best on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for Raw, Smackdown, and NXT. And then you got the number one podcast right here on YouTube when it comes to professional wrestling in Off the Script, man. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Thank you guys so very much for supporting on the Patreon page. I feel like the content this weekend was a little weak on my end, but a lot went into the weekend's podcast that I didn't want to do anything else this weekend, man. All I wanted to do was watch my boy Johnny Gargano win the NXT Championship in one of the greatest world title matches that you will see in a professional wrestling ring. It was unbelievable. So if you guys missed anything on the channel, man, Off the Script, part 1, 2, and that's it. Only 2 parts this weekend. Predictions for NXT and WrestleMania. NXT TakeOver New York, official review. Go and check that out. Also, Jim Ross making a big money move with AEW. All that is on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check all of that stuff out if you want the extra content for your listening pleasure. You guys know the deal with Bonfire, man. Bonfire.com, the official home of JD's Elite. If you guys want to support the podcast by wearing some cool-looking shit, that is the official website for our online shop. Bonfire.com, the official home of JD's Elite. Link will be down in the description of this very video. I appreciate you guys very much, man. Bonfire.com. Make sure you guys get yours today. And thank you to everybody that showed up to the meet and greet at Hooters, man. A lot of you guys were wearing this shirt. Over 85 of you showed up, and you will see the official video that Big Hodge Media, Jason, made for you guys. I'll be debuting that tomorrow on the channel, so look forward to that. Let's start off at the top, man. Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. Pre-show. First thing to start WrestleMania off on the pre-show. I was looking forward to this match, man, because I'm a big fan of Tony Nese, and he's a Long Island guy. I love Tony Nese. I love Tony Nese going back to the Cruiserweight Classic when I seen him on the Cruiserweight Classic for the first time. Buddy Murphy, I think Buddy Murphy is one of the most talented guys in all of the WWE. I do have one gripe with what WWE does on the pre-show, man. Can we have the pre-show uninterrupted without fucking commercials about your own main event that we've seen throughout the entire week on Raw, on Smackdown, and even on NXT? I even had commercials for WrestleMania in my own videos on the channel. The same commercials that you've seen on the pre-show during this match. And then you want to know why people don't take the pre-show that seriously. We need to cut that out. This is a part of the fucking show. This is a part of WrestleMania. How would you feel if you're Tony Nese or Buddy Murphy and you go back and watch your fucking match and it's littered with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch commercials? Come on, dude. Then you want to know why people don't give a fuck about the pre-show and they don't show up to sit there and watch these guys perform when they're two of the best athletes in all of WWE. This was a standard Cruiserweight title match. Nothing that we have not seen before. I love the physical nature of both Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy. Tony Nese has been great for so long, and I'm happy to finally see him get a shot and thrive on 205 Live. He's looked great, and he's always looked great. And he looked great tonight on WrestleMania. He wore the white and the gold. He almost resembled a Roman gladiator. Buddy Murphy is always great, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing him on the main roster. He's always been great. That's no secret. I've loved the aspect of the commentary team here that Tony Nese was really pushing Murphy to his limits, and that this was Buddy Murphy's toughest challenge to date. I like that aspect, but at the same time, I don't. It doesn't make any sense at all. I get it. It's their job to tell a story about what these two guys are doing in the ring. But honestly, in my eyes, if you've watched everything that Buddy Murphy has done, especially on pay-per-view with these Cruiserweight title defenses, there's no difference between Tony Nese and Cedric Alexander and what they've done in the ring with Buddy Murphy. And in fact, Cedric Alexander brought Buddy Murphy to a much more physical match. Mustafa Ali brought Buddy Murphy to a much more physical test than Tony Nese did here tonight on the WrestleMania pre-show. I'm just stating facts, and I know you guys know that that is indeed true as well. Buddy Murphy was actually hanging on to the ropes. These are the highlights of the match. Buddy Murphy was hanging on to the ropes. Tony Nese did a springboard moonsault, man. He is wickedly fucking talented. Like, you look at Tony Nese and you'll see his body, stature and just the makeup of his body. The guy looks like a fucking pure physical specimen, man. It looks like he's carved out of granite. But when you look at him perform and you see how athletic he really is, it's really a thing to fucking behold. Springboard moonsault on Murphy as he just hung there on the middle rope. Not really a spot that I like. We've seen it a couple of times tonight on the pay-per-view. Not really a spot that I like because it really makes the recipient look like a fucking idiot for not moving out of the way when you see this guy trying to attempt to dive on top of you. He just hangs there. Like he's hanging clothes out to dry. He's just hanging there. And it's just so academic for the guy to move. And he doesn't. There was a spike reverse Rana by Tony Nese that looked absolutely brutal. Landed Buddy Murphy right on top of his head. Tony Nese hit a perfect 450 with a very close near fall. There was a huge jumping knee by Murphy, and Murphy's got some of the most wicked sounding knees that you'll see inside a wrestling ring. He went for the jumping knee, and then he went for Murphy's Law, and Tony Nese gets to the ropes to break up the pinfall. He hit Murphy's Law. Tony Nese had the wherewithal to get to the ropes. Murphy got cocky at this point and was going to go for Tony Nese's own finishing move, which I'm assuming they're calling Running Nese. Get it? Play on words, running knees, running Nese. I like it. Some people I know love that play on words. I thought it was cool. Running Nese, he tried to go for Running Nese. He used his own move against him, but he got nailed with a super kick because he was too cocky. German suplex into the turnbuckles, and that looked brutal. And Running Nese by Tony Nese, and he wins the Cruiserweight Championship. I thought this was the right decision. Now, I thought it could swing either way here because Buddy Murphy, honestly, he is leagues better than everybody else on 205 Live. And yes, he's better than Tony Nese. Buddy Murphy, honestly, with what he brings to the table, he is probably the best thing on that show and has been the best thing on that show for quite some time. But I hope with this loss that it moves Tony Nese into that position. It gets him some spotlight. Hopefully we get some new matchups with Tony Nese as champion. And Buddy Murphy, like Mustafa Ali, is moved to the main roster. I really hope so. I honestly think Buddy Murphy could be in the Seth Rollins of the world, or he could be battling the Samoa Joes. He could be battling the Kofi Kingstons and the Daniel Bryans. So that's what I really wish we see WWE do here moving forward with Buddy Murphy. Because he deserves it, and he's way too talented to be stuck in the fucking bubble on 205 Live. Tony Nese wins the Cruiserweight Championship. Standard match. Nothing that we have not seen before with Buddy Murphy against the likes of Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander. Women's Battle Royal came up next. The Battle Royal, complete waste of time. We all know that this match is a complete waste of time, but holy fucking shit. Holy shit. You take the title off of Asuka to take a WrestleMania moment away from this woman, to put the Smackdown Live title in the main event, and then you put her in this worthless match only to not have her win this Battle Royal. Would it have been so difficult to put Asuka standing next to the trophy and give her some fucking weak bullshit consolation prize? I don't understand it. The disrespect of Asuka, who I've said many times before, and many have said it along with me, is one of the most elite women that this company has, one of the most elite women that this company has ever seen. And the fact that she is so fucking talented and WWE abuses her and misuses her in this manner is absolutely ridiculous. Carmella wins this battle royal. And I have to ask, why does Carmella winning here make sense? Carmella had her run with the SmackDown Live Women's title, and she did nothing with it. It was honestly a reign of terror. It was a reign of terror. It was in the Jinder Mahal category for the SmackDown Live Women's title. Sarah Logan and the rest of the Riot Squad have been fed to the likes of Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and everybody else on Monday Night Raw. I don't understand this. They've been fed in brutal fashion. We all know Ruby Riott is better than what they've been giving her on Monday Night Raw. Any one of the Riot Squad, preferably Ruby, would have made sense in this instance. Sarah Logan was one of the last women in this match. I don't understand why they thought fucking Carmella winning this thing was better off than Sarah Logan winning this. I don't get it. The NXT talents in this situation, there were NXT talents in this match. If you didn't know, or if you blinked or walked away, you would have missed Candice LeRae in this match. I did not, and I swear on my grandfather's tomb, I did not even see her face. I did not. Kairi Sane was in there, and that was pretty much it from NXT. If you missed, you missed them. You blinked, you missed them. You walked away, you missed them. If you had your head down in your phone tweeting during WrestleMania, you missed them. The NXT talents in this situation were seemed like, or were treated like afterthoughts. Why debut them in a battle royal with the mentality of nobody remembering this match by the end of the night anyway? I don't understand it. People were using the word, I love this word, people were using this word all over social media, unceremoniously. They were unceremoniously given an opportunity in this match, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Why debut them? You present them as not special. Ember Moon has been out for months, and this is the best way that you go about booking Ember Moon? You think this is the best for Ember Moon? This is the most beneficial for Ember Moon to make her return? A few eclipses only to get eliminated by fucking Lana. She was eliminated by Lana. That's a woman in Ember Moon who can make an impact on the level of an Asuka if given the opportunity to do so. Then you go out of your way to make her return as disappointing as fucking ever, and what do? You give her 5 minutes in the Battle Royal, she gets eliminated, and nobody's gonna fucking give a shit when she actually comes out on Monday Night Raw and tries to make an impact. A complete waste of fucking time. Her excitement, or the excitement of her return, is gonna be gone for the sake of a match that even the winner does not even benefit from. By the way, I have to make a mention here. The ending of this year's match for the Battle Royal that Carmella won was booked exactly the same as last year with Bayley and Naomi. How many of you thought about that when watching the Women's Battle Royal? They went about this Battle Royal the same way they went about last year's Battle Royal. If that doesn't tell you that WWE doesn't give a shit about this match, or any of the pre-show matches for that matter, I don't know what to tell you. Get rid of it and do a better fucking job at booking your talent. No excuses. Now, Lacey Evans wasn't even in the match. I thought, and everybody thought, that Lacey Evans was going to be in this match. If she doesn't debut in a match on Raw, get her off of fucking TV. It is absolutely ridiculous that this woman has been parading around, walking around in fucking summer-like dresses, just waving to the crowd, and this woman has not thrown a fucking punch since being called up from NXT. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Enough of the bullshit. Fresh start means that you get that woman in the ring. I'm glad she wasn't used here because they probably would have used her to win this match and eliminate Asuka in the process. So I'm glad that they did not put her in the Women's Battle Royal. Highlights of the match. Barely any. Lillian Garcia handled the ring announcing. Don't mind me some Lillian Garcia. Lana, the best thing about Lana, not her wrestling ability, the fact that she was actually dressed like Wonder Woman. Ember Moon was back. I got excited for about 3 seconds and then she was gone just as quick. Man, what a fucking terrible way to reintroduce her as if she was never hurt. I don't even think they talked about her fucking injury or what kept her out. How important she must be to WWE. Kairi Sane was in there. She dropped an elbow drop, looked good, but she was in there. She didn't get a ring entrance. Nobody got a ring entrance outside of Naomi and Asuka. Everybody else was ushered down to the ring, including the NXT talents, with generic WWE 2K19 creative theme music. Nobody felt special in this match at all. Kairi Sane was there. She didn't get a ring entrance. Candice LeRae didn't get a ring entrance. Her fucking husband just had the match of the fucking year. No question at TakeOver. You think they treat fucking Candice wrestling a little bit better? No, fuck them. Fuck them. Only a select few of the women, like I said, got actual ring entrances here, completely making most of the women's roster look unimportant and, again, unceremonious. Naomi, Asuka, who got a great reaction, by the way, by the crowd in the shadow of New York. Maria Kanellis was eliminated almost immediately. Goodbye. That's what complaining gets you. Go back to 205 Live. Kairi Sane was eliminated by the Riot Squad after a 3-on-1. I don't understand why you put these women. Kairi Sane is a very important piece to the NXT women's division. Why are you going to put her in there and have her treated like dog shit? I don't get it. I don't get it. Nikki Cross and Asuka had a nice face-to-face, something that I fantasy booked for this very WrestleMania, but WWE clearly wants nothing to do with Nikki Cross. They had a nice face-off, something I like to see more of, but it was so brief and on the pre-show that I'm sure you forgot about it by the time 12:30 rolled around. Riot Squad actually played this Battle Royal the right way. Nice old-school mentality with that pack-like wolf pack mentality. Dana fucking Brooke. Dana Brooke, yes, Queen of Catering. Eliminated Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott back to back. And then she was eliminated by Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, who swung the favor in their corner as they became the tag team of the Battle Royal. So Dana Brooke got 2 eliminations on the Riot Squad. I don't know why. Why is Ruby Riott in the Ember Moon category as treated like dog shit? The woman is too talented to be thrown away so fucking nonchalantly. Please. Monday Night Raw is the start of a fresh start. If we don't start seeing Ember Moon and Ruby Riott in title discussions sometime this year, WWE is dropping the fucking ball. Big time. Those 2 women have impact written all over them. Get them in a prominent program. Mickie James eliminated Mandy Rose with a super kick, and then Sonya eliminated Mickie James. Who the fuck cares? The final 3 were Asuka, Sonya Deville, and Sarah Logan. Now, Asuka kicked the leg of Sonya off the apron to eliminate her, and then Sarah Logan eliminates Asuka, thinking she won. WWE fooled me. I wasn't paying attention to Carmella, because who the fuck is except Corey Graves? She was on the outside of the ring, sleeping. Typical fucking Battle Royal booking by WWE. So it came down to Carmella and Sarah Logan until Carmella eliminated Logan to win the Battle Royal. She stood next to the trophy, jumping up and down, not giving a shit because it looks like a disgusting piece of garbage. This Battle Royal needs to go. If the winner is not going to achieve anything but this ugly-looking fucking trophy, then why have it? It's taking up time. This was 20 minutes that I'm sure could have been cut off the show. Again, not everybody needs to be on WrestleMania. It's WWE's job to book their talent and their mid-card a little bit better. Moving on. Revival versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. The Revival actually got a fucking ring entrance tonight. Holy shit. That might have been one of the biggest shockers of the night. They got a ring entrance. Most of the crowd was filing in at that point. Had a decent crowd when their match went on. I was genuinely surprised. The announcers went on early about the losing streak and the fact that both Ryder and Hawkins are New York boys. Just by that, you knew the Revival were fucked. Dawson early kept on calling Hawkins nothing but a loser. It's like looking into a fucking mirror. He's calling Hawkins a loser, but realistically, he's the fucking loser. And I knew he was losing this match for sure. Ryder tried to suplex Wilder over the top rope and both men landed viciously off the apron and on to the floor. I legit thought that Zack Ryder was fucking hurt at this point. That looked brutal. Ryder then took a DDT by Wilder and Dawson. Dawson came out and delivered a fucking brainbuster to Hawkins. That took him out of the match. I loved at this point how Hawkins knew, I think it was before the brainbuster, Hawkins knew Ryder was the legal man, so he picked up Ryder, threw him back into the ring, and he made the tag all on his own. I like that. That's a smart man who knows what he needs to do to win the match. So that was the one aspect of their team that I really liked in this match. I was paying attention to that. So he rolled Ryder into the ring, made the tag because he was obviously the fresher of the two, especially after taking that suplex spot and a DDT, did Ryder. So Hawkins got a brainbuster. Dawson rolled him back into the ring. Let's go Hawkins chants were really starting to ring out at MetLife Center. We'll talk about that in a second. The MetLife Center, says Hulk Hogan. Let's go Hawkins chants had to be a feel-good moment for Kurt Hawkins here towards the end. Great sequence on the outside, like I mentioned just before, by all four men. After the brainbuster, Dawson toyed with Hawkins and calling him a loser, kind of egging him on. And then out of nowhere, a roll-up, and the match was over. You got Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins as your new Monday Night Raw Tag Team Champions. This match fucking sucked until the last 3 minutes of the match. I love the Revival. I really do. Some people don't. Some people think that they're bland, that they're boring, that they're nothing but charisma vacuums. Some people don't like the Revival. I do. Because maybe you didn't watch them in NXT, but I've grown to appreciate them in NXT. And I want so badly for the tag team division to go back to what they were doing in NXT. I want the tag team division to resemble what we seen on TakeOver Friday night with the War Raiders, Ricochet, and Aleister Black. One of the best matches of the fucking year. I love the Revival, but you've beaten them so many times, time and time again, even as Raw Tag Team Champions. This is the product of having your champions looking weak. This match is the product of having your champions looking weak. How can I or you invest in these guys if you beat them every single week? People lose interest, and interest that wasn't even there from the get-go from the majority of the audience. You beat Zack Ryder down most of the match to make a hot tag to Kurt Hawkins, who's lost 270 matches in a row. A story that WWE didn't even bother to tell, and you booked this match with no interaction between these two teams on actual television, instead on WWE.com 6 days before the show. The feel-good moment of Hawkins winning would have been that much bigger if you actually put some fucking effort into telling the man's struggles. Instead, you booked the match in the moment, and it's a match that you're pretty much telling the fans that it doesn't even fucking matter at that point. He's a loser anyway. They got a fluke victory over a legit tag team that honestly can rival anyone in this business. Completely missed opportunity for the Kurt Hawkins storyline. This would have been so much better, but WWE opted to book it 6 days out. The tag team division, I say this every single week, and I'm going to say it again here tonight. The tag team division needs a complete fucking overhaul. I don't know what they do going forward on Raw, but honestly, do you see WWE having Ryder and Hawkins anchor the tag team division? Who the fuck do they have left on that roster, as far as tag teams go, to even challenge them? AOP? Are they going to be set to come back? Because that's the only fucking team I can think of. I'm done with Rude and Gable. The Revival aren't getting a rematch because those rematch clauses don't exist anymore. Ricochet and Aleister Black are done getting tag team title opportunities. It needs a revamp. If there's one thing that WWE does for the shakeup, it's fix the tag team division. Like I said, who do they feud with now? Where do the Revival go after they lobby for the tag team division and tag team wrestling to be brought back to a better place? The division is a joke. The entire division is a fucking joke. This match sucked. Absolutely nothing as far as fan investment goes for both of these teams. Completely disgraceful. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Pre-show, you can see the fucking, the whole vibe of the pre-show, man. Getting the worthless shit out of the way, except for Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese. That was probably the best thing on the entire pre-show. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Colin Jost and Michael Pet, whatever the fuck his name is. These two clowns got an entrance, and everyone else got, again, unceremoniously introduced with random WWE 2K19 creator theme music. Jost was wearing a Cleveland Browns jersey. Who cares? There are a bunch of guys who are above others in this match. Clearly, you've seen them. Mustafa Ali and Andrade Cien Almas. They stand out more so to me than anybody. Poor Andrade. Guy's got his buddies in Roosh and Dragon Lee in Ring of Honor tearing the fucking house down in MSG. What is he doing here? Putting over fucking Colin Jost and Michael Che. Hardy Boys got a regular entrance. Nobody else got a regular entrance. Regular entrance in front of the Shadow of New York crowd that lasted about 7 minutes as they kicked back to the pre-show panel. So you heard the Hardy Boys music playing while you got Booker T and that fucking Brillo head, Sam Roberts, talking about fucking garbage while the Hardys are in the ring getting ready to do this battle royal with their theme music playing for about 7 minutes. Obviously, Strowman got his own entrance because this entire battle royal was built around him and the problems that he has with those SNL clowns. Now, in typical WWE fashion, you knew they were going to do this. You expected these guys to hang with the big boys for about 15 minutes. Chi and Jost immediately left the ring, crawled under the ring, typical WWE Battle Royal booking. Tyler Breeze and EC3 were eliminated within 45 seconds of the bell ringing. EC3, I hope that you get your fucking airline ticket to Jacksonville, Florida. Please get the fuck out of WWE. Seriously. This guy is an absolute fucking waste. And there's nobody that can convince me otherwise that they are looking at Derek Bateman and realizing that he went to Impact Wrestling to make a name for himself, thought he can come home to the WWE and find the same success. They are trolling this guy so badly that they are expecting him to fucking quit and walk out. No doubt about it. Tyler Breeze is a lost cause. One of the most talented guys in the company. Clearly, WWE doesn't give a fuck about Tyler Breeze. Strowman eliminated several early on, as expected. Nice interaction between the Hardys, Rude and Gable. Gave me thoughts of maybe merging the tag team divisions, but that may be nothing more than a fucking fantasy at this point. Rude got eliminated by Matt Hardy. Andrade executed a nice stalled monkey flip on Kalisto and kicked him out of the match with it. That was a really cool spot. Braun Strowman eliminated Heavy Machinery at the same time. Go fuck you, Tucker and Otis. Strowman eliminated both Harper and Ali. Harper tried to suplex Ali out of the ring on the ring apron. And then all of a sudden, Braun Strowman comes over and kicks Harper in the midsection while he's in mid-suplex with Ali. They both hit nasty on the outside. So, I don't know if Ali got hurt on that. It looked like it fucking hurt bad. Harper looked great, but that was a brutal spot. Nasty spill on the floor for both Harper and Ali. Mustafa Ali, by the way. Clowns. Andrade, I had my head down in my iPad. I missed him getting eliminated. I don't know what the fuck I was writing at the point for this fucking waste of a match. Apparently, he eliminated himself. I don't know what happened, but like I said, he's here in this Battle Royal putting over fucking SNL and eliminating himself while Roosh and Dragon Lee tore MSG down on Saturday night. Fuck you, Andrade Cien Almas. Talk about a fucking waste. And that was it. That was pretty much it. Now, my thoughts on the match. You want my thoughts on the match, right? Braun Strowman won the fucking match. If you guys didn't figure that one out or didn't know that one going in, this entire Battle Royal was the most predictable thing on the entire show. Now, I will admit, I was entertained slightly. Slightly. Not because of anything from the actual fucking SNL guys or what happened by the actual wrestlers in the match, this dude in the suit that came out at the end of the match, Colin Jost and Michael Che, were in the ring. And Braun Strowman was there. They obviously were going to book this entire thing around Braun Strowman getting his revenge on these two guys. So Colin Jost takes a microphone and he introduces his therapist. Now, this guy, I marked the fuck out for this guy. Because this guy is actually my bartender at the German Beer Garden located right outside of Tropicana Casino in Atlantic City. And he's there on WrestleMania's grandest stage, standing in front of Braun Strowman. So when I go see him, next time I'm there, I'm going to ask him, dude, Braun Strowman? Really? He was serving me a fucking beautiful grapefruit-flavored beer a couple of weeks ago. And here he is on WrestleMania. If there's one thing I marked out for, it was the fucking therapist in the suit. There you go, man. Unbelievable. It's a small world. It's a small world. People didn't believe me that I knew the guy. This guy was serving me my fucking alcoholic beverage a couple of weeks ago. So it was great to see him. Now, I walked into the bar. I was wearing my AEW hoodie. He actually is a professional wrestler. He's an independent professional wrestler on the East Coast. He works up and down South Jersey. I had my All Elite Wrestling hoodie on, and he's like, you work for AEW? I'm like, no, but my bosses in House of Glory know the Elite. So we started talking about wrestling, and here he is on fucking WrestleMania. Like I said, the world, it's a small world. It's a small world. Now, everybody in this match was sacrificed for Saturday Night Live. It's disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. It's not even funny. It's not entertaining. It's not even remotely WrestleMania worthy. I don't know why WWE went out of their way to make this a big fucking deal. You threw your entire mid-card and undercard to the fucking wolves to have Braun Strowman finish a storyline that legitimately nobody cared about. A storyline that was promoted, as this big deal, celebrities being at WrestleMania. A storyline that promoted a fucking Mattel playset of Braun Strowman destroying a fucking car will do nothing. This Battle Royal will do nothing for his career because it didn't do anything for anybody before him. And to mimic the same bullshit we seen in all these Battle Royals with someone hiding underneath the ring? Come on, dude. It's so fucking childish. The finish was fucking stupid. Did you guys see the finish of this Battle Royal? Everyone who was eliminated already before the Colin Jost Braun Strowman finale. Everybody who was eliminated already had to stand out there for at least a couple of minutes to get ready to catch Jost as Braun Strowman launched him over the top rope. What a fucking WrestleMania moment for all these fucking idiots standing around. Stand there and look like a fucking idiot for the sake of Colin fucking Jost. Everyone who participated in that match looked embarrassing and made a WrestleMania moment for two guys who I'm sure are not full-fledged fans of the product. Shame on you, WWE. You need to start doing better, and you need to start taking care of your fucking talent instead of hiring D-list fucking comedians who are not funny to get some fucking cheap pop out of the crowd. Complete bullshit. This match fucking sucked. I popped more for the fucking therapist, my bartender, than I did anybody else in that fucking match. Shame on you. Shame on you. Now, we went from that, and we opened WrestleMania. Finally, I felt like I was watching fucking WrestleMania in itself. This was a pay-per-view in itself. And we didn't even start the fucking show yet. WrestleMania starts. Yolanda Adams sings America the Beautiful. I was going to say the Star Spangled Banner. America the Beautiful. Whoever the fuck Yolanda Adams is, I don't know. I'm sorry. I listen to real music, and I listen to real musicians. She did a terrible job. The opening video package is actually very good. Incredible stuff there. Weird mix of rap with a symphonic feel, highlighting all of the major players on tonight's show. Really well done by WWE. Honestly, nobody does it better than the WWE to get you excited about the show with shit like that. The WrestleMania stage is, this year, very boring. It was very boring. They did not even top New Orleans. Everybody thought New Orleans was lame. I thought New Orleans was actually pretty fucking cool. I thought New Orleans stage was really fucking well done. Obviously, the WrestleMania 33 stage with the roller coaster spent $5 million on it. That was the best stage that they've ever produced. But this stage, fuck New Jersey, I guess, or not even New Jersey. They weren't even allowed to say New Jersey. Fuck the shadow of New York, I guess. There you go. But I will say this, man. It was nothing more than a curved LED screen that ran along the entirety of the stage. The logo mixed with the red and black did look great as the backdrop of MetLife Stadium, especially when it got dark outside. Throughout the stadium, they mixed red and yellow spotlights throughout the crowd. When it got later in the evening, it went from yellow and red to just red. So I really like that. It really made the overall aesthetics and the presentation pop for WrestleMania. But overall, the stage was very boring. Nothing outstanding or eye-popping about the stage. But the lighting was really good. Now, I heard some criticisms from people who were sitting in the crowd that the spotlights above the ring were so fucking bright, they didn't even realize that it was nighttime out. It was blinding them to a point where they couldn't see what was going on in the ring. So, you guys wonder why I don't go to WrestleMania. My dad even texted me tonight, why didn't you go to WrestleMania? It's in New Jersey. Who gives a shit? I gotta pay money to sit there and be blinded so I can't fucking see? And I gotta watch the shit on a big screen that's hanging above the stadium? When I could sit in my pajamas, drink a cup of coffee, and watch it at home? Come on, man. I'll save my money. I need a new fucking laptop. Alexa Bliss came out. She came out to address the crowd. She said if she wanted a WrestleMania moment, all she has to do is snap her fingers. This woman can do anything. Snap her fingers and get anything she wants. Clearly, she got 5 title reigns by just doing this. She didn't earn those fucking title matches and title reigns with wrestling ability. That's all she did, amongst other things. She snapped her fingers, then out came Hulk Hogan. To the dismay of all of you, I'm sure. Let me tell you something, brother. I don't give a shit. We all knew Hogan was going to be there. This was quick, painless, and very simple. He ribbed himself over the Silverdome blunder from years ago, and then proceeded to call MetLife Stadium MetLife Center. A joke on a joke that still wasn't funny. Good job, Hulkster. Good job. Go away. Paul Heyman came out in the middle of all of this. Hogan and Alexa were posing on the stage. Paul Heyman storms to the ring. Storms to the ring. You thought he had to take a shit. He was running to the ring so fucking fast. Brock Lesnar is opening the show. He's like, okay, you want to show my talent disrespect? We're going to take our talents after tonight and go back to Las Vegas where we will be respected. So Paul Heyman is out to announce Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins is the first match on tonight's WrestleMania main card. Universal title is being defended in the opening of the show, the first match of the show. Now, I was shocked just like everybody else when I watched this. I thought this was fucking great. I really thought this was great. It was a great way to open the show. The crowd was hot, and I applaud WWE for doing something different. Now, I'm not a big fan of major championships, especially, the one title that WWE looks at as being the most important title in the company. I'm not a fan of that opening the show, but in this case, where they wanted to start off hot and really get the crowd going, I don't really mind it. The Universal title is the biggest title in the company, so the sight of it in the opening match doesn't really bother me, because in the eyes of the fans, it honestly is the most worthless of the titles that the WWE has. So the fact that it kicked off the show, I didn't mind it at all. Now, it was not much of a match between Rollins and Lesnar, and that's always disappointing because that's usually what happens when you're dealing with a Brock Lesnar match. It's not really much of a match at all. And I know the fucking guy can wrestle. He proved it with Daniel Bryan. He proved it with AJ Styles. But this is Brock Lesnar territory. 2, 3, 4 minutes max. Suplex, F5. Nothing new here. The story worked, and it popped the WrestleMania crowd off early with a great moment for everybody sitting there. Took the belt off Lesnar. For now, who knows if WWE has him coming back or what his contract status is, if he's really going to the UFC to fight Daniel Cormier for the UFC title. Nobody knows. Everything with Brock Lesnar is kept so fucking secret that only Vince McMahon knows. So for now, Lesnar is no longer the Universal Champion, and this is a step in the right direction because the title is back on Monday Night Raw full-time, which has been something that the company has desperately needed for the longest time. Now, with Seth Rollins winning immediately, it already has put fear at this point in my soul because I didn't expect him to win. I was actually shocked, not only by the fucking Universal title opening the show, but I was shocked that Rollins won the title. I really was. I had this vision of Brock Lesnar taking the title into Saudi Arabia. I don't know what they do with Lesnar going into Saudi Arabia. That's not happening till June. The show got pushed back. But with Rollins and the Universal Championship back on Raw, I am okay. I honestly thought by process of elimination that Rollins was going to end up losing his match. They were going to keep the title on Lesnar, take it into Saudi Arabia, and have Kofi and Becky walk out as champions. I had it in my mind that there's no way WWE's booking 3 babyfaces to walk out of here as new champions. I just couldn't believe it. And here we are, starting the show off with Rollins winning the title immediately. Now, I predicted, like I said, Rollins, Kofi, and Becky, they were not all going to win championships. Process of elimination, Rollins was going to be the one out. Now, again, at this point in the show, I was worrisome of Becky and even Kofi at this point. The title's back on Raw full time. That's the most important thing right now. It is needed. Lesnar was beaten without the referee seeing the low blow, but it also takes away from Seth Rollins that he had to resort to cheating to get the win over Lesnar when he vehemently stated that, I can beat Brock Lesnar. I'm going to slay the beast. And here he is using a heel tactic to beat a fucking heel. Again, using the same tactic he used on Monday Night Raw on the Go Home show to win the title here. But he got the win nonetheless. This match starting fresh, first with a crowd at its peak, is great. Fantastic move by WWE. Seth Rollins had a great graphic of Seth Rollins when he came out. Seth Rollins had this great graphic of Lesnar and a skull that is very present on Lesnar's merchandise. Lesnar's skull on the LED screen, and then a sword going up and down, and it's crushing the skull, and the skull breaks apart into a bunch of pieces on the huge screen. Really epic stuff to kind of play up to the Beast Slayer moniker that Seth Rollins was going with. Lesnar attacks Rollins even before he makes his way into the ring, delivers an F5 on the outside. At this point, the bell is not rung. Lesnar throws him around on the outside, into the barricade, into the LED boards on the apron, and he throws Rollins over the German announce table at one point. This is great. This is great. It's definitely great here because Lesnar, I figure, Lesnar and Rollins have not been in the ring as far as a one-on-one match goes for a very long time. And I love the fact that Lesnar started this match off just looking to beat the shit out of him because it's still got to be fresh in his mind what Rollins did to him at WrestleMania 31 with the cash-in. So I love the fact that Lesnar was just unadulterated, just brutality all over Seth Rollins here just because of that one WrestleMania moment where Rollins did take the title and cash in at WrestleMania 31. Brock took the front of the table off. I believe it was the German announce table, that little removable piece. He took it off. He placed it horizontally, hanging off the ring apron. He threw Rollins into it, crashing into it, broke it, split it in half. The bell finally rang after about, about 2 minutes. Or it had to be more than that, 5 minutes. Then the bell rung, and then the official time of the match started. So after about 5 minutes of a clear-cut beatdown on Seth Rollins, he's been decimated at this point. Suplex City, bitches, is what he yells out again. Rollins sells these suplexes beautifully. Rollins' back has visible marks on it just from the beating that Lesnar is giving him. Pretty brutal stuff. So it showed the beating that Lesnar was giving Seth Rollins. Lesnar went for an F5, and the referee was in the worst possible fucking position. You talk about a referee being out of position. This guy was in the line of fire. Rollins escaped the F5, and Lesnar goes barreling into the referee because Rollins pushes Lesnar. Rollins delivers a low blow as the referee falls out of the ring. Delivers a low blow, followed up by a super kick to the face, followed up by not one, not two, but 3 curb stomps, and that was it. He wins the Universal title, and holy shit, it's over. I did not anticipate this even starting the show, and I did not anticipate Rollins even winning the Universal Championship. Kudos to WWE for making a different call here as far as a championship match goes, or a match to start the show. Because honestly, when you look at the landscape of WrestleMania, the first match especially in the current day WWE, WrestleMania the way it is, the first match is actually the most important match of WrestleMania. The last match is no longer considered the main event. Because by that time, the crowd is completely fucking comatose. They are dead. The fact that this match opened the show, I thought to myself, by the end of this night, I thought this was more of a main event match than Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. Seth Rollins wins the title. Definitely a holy shit moment. Rollins goes up to the top of the ramp. I'm hoping. And he does it. He takes the Universal Championship and swings that motherfucker around like he did the WWE title when he cashed in on Brock Lesnar at Mania 31. Major pop for the swing of the title. And Rollins is your new Universal Champion. He takes the title back to Raw full time. Thank God we got a champion, a main event champion, back on Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles follows this hot open of Lesnar and Rollins. Jerry the King Lawler was out on commentary with Corey Graves and Tom Phillips. Randy Orton went for an RKO within the first 45 seconds of the match. Nice spot of AJ avoiding it, and Orton's body language was pretty much like, okay, motherfucker, you escaped it for right now. So I really like that. AJ Styles tried to go for the Styles Clash, couldn't do it, and out of it, Randy Orton tried for the RKO again, couldn't get it. Bounced AJ off the ropes, hit his signature snap power slam. After some back and forth, AJ got the calf crusher on Orton as he screamed in pain, but Orton got to the bottom rope. AJ Styles went for a springboard phenomenal forearm and jumped up, immediately jumped back down because he seen Orton was in position to catch him with an RKO. Orton hit the mat. He hit his back on the mat pretty hard, and AJ went for a springboard, but this time not the phenomenal forearm. He went for the springboard 450, and he hit that beautifully. AJ then went for the phenomenal forearm again, misses, rolls through. Orton caught him, not with an RKO, but with an inverted backbreaker. Orton followed up with a superplex. You talk about, my dad even texted me saying that was the greatest superplex in the history of WrestleMania. Legitimately, that's what he texted me. This was a thing of beauty. Randy Orton with a superplex. The height that he got on AJ Styles was unbelievable. One of the most beautiful superplexes you will ever see performed. Signature Orton with the draping DDT. Calls out for the RKO, does his pose, goes for the RKO, but he ate an enziguri by Styles instead. Styles goes for the cover, only a 2 count. Orton hit the RKO anyway, out of nowhere, after the pinfall attempt. And Styles kicked out of the RKO. When was the last time someone kicked out of the RKO before AJ Styles? I don't even know. That's a good trivia question for somebody. I don't even know the answer to that. If I was to guess somebody, I would say Roman Reigns. Seriously, he kicks out of everything. But AJ Styles kicked out of the RKO, one of the most protected moves in the history of WWE. Orton went for a super RKO off the top rope, and AJ slips through to counter with a Pele kick. Orton rolls to the outside, and AJ hits a phenomenal forearm on the outside. A thing of beauty by AJ Styles. AJ rolls Orton back into the ring, sets up for the phenomenal forearm again. Orton attempts to catch him in the RKO once again, but Styles was close enough this time where Orton had the RKO locked in, but Styles was close enough to the ropes to counter it, hold on, jump back down, caught Randy off guard with a phenomenal forearm, and got the pinfall on Randy Orton. 1, 2, 3. So AJ Styles beats Randy Orton here. Really, really good match. I thought this match was really good. Perfectly timed. Didn't go too long. I thought that this was a really good spot for the Orton-Styles match because I want you guys to think about this. If you put this match on later on in the show, around the 10:30, 11 o'clock hour, where people are completely drifting off into dreamland, the last thing you want to watch is a methodical Randy Orton match. WWE didn't do any better with fucking Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle, but it would have been even double as worse if you're getting a methodical Randy Orton match. You don't want to watch that type of match later on in the show. Now, you want to watch something that's going to get your blood going. So putting them on here second, especially after such a hot open with a title change for Lesnar Rollins, was a very smart move in my eyes for WWE and a very smart move as far as the crowd's sake goes. Very old school feel with Orton dictating the pace and with Styles following. Even when the match needed to be amped up, AJ did what AJ does best, and he gave you what he usually gives you. I also love the fact that WWE, we criticized them for giving away a potential ending on the go-home show to SmackDown Live with that RKO spot out of the phenomenal forearm. Everybody thought that could have been a potential ending to this match, and WWE gave it away. I really like the fact that WWE was aware of that. They corrected their mistake. I don't know if it was just something that they went back and thought of, well, we kind of fucked up here. We took away a prime spot in the match, and we gave it away on the go-home show. I'm not sure if WWE was correcting a mistake, but they made it into a story in the match, with AJ attempting the same spot again, but this time he knew better this time around. The right man won here, and I honestly think the feud continues moving forward on SmackDown Live. The only thing that will hinder this feud moving forward is the upcoming shakeup if it doesn't split up Styles and Orton, and it's been rumored for years that Vince McMahon wants AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw, but if they don't get split up, I firmly believe that this feud will continue on SmackDown Live. All in all, excellent match. AJ Styles wins, and that's the right call in my eyes. Lacey Evans makes her irrelevant presence known in front of the Shadow of New York crowd. Nobody cares. Really, nobody cares. Lacey Evans is a complete waste of everybody's time. In fact, next time I go and I take a driver's test or I fill out and get my passport, I'm going to put down as my hometown, Shadow of New York. Seriously. As many times as I heard that tonight, it's worse than me hearing the fucking cocksucking of Roman Reigns tonight at WrestleMania 35. Ridiculous. This company just does these little fucking things that piss you off so much that you want to vomit. Shadow of New York. Really? Jesus Christ. Worse than Lacey Evans coming on out and wasting everybody's fucking time for about 30 seconds. Usos, Bar, Rusev Nakamura, Black Ricochet, SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. This match was also put together 5 days before WrestleMania, but that's neither here nor there. This was actually a very fun tag team match. Usos ring gear looked sick. It reminded me something, honestly, out of Destiny. If you guys ever played Destiny for PS4, reminded me something of a Destiny feel with the off-white and the silver. The WWE got rid of Ricochet's lasers during his entrance. This was bothering me the entire fucking match. I thought about it all night. WWE got rid of Ricochet's lasers. Why? They were present during the War Raiders match at TakeOver New York. Why weren't they here at WrestleMania? And by this time, it was fucking nighttime. Do you know how great and epic the lasers would have looked in the Shadow of New York with Ricochet's entrance? WWE always got to be changing shit when nothing needs to be changed. Absolutely ridiculous. Aleister Black, on the other hand, his entrance looked great. It felt great. It felt like a WrestleMania-like entrance. I still don't like the little creaks and cracks, like he's walking into a fucking haunted house when he comes up on the little ramp that he comes up on. These two guys, if you didn't realize it already, especially after Friday's Match of the Year candidate with the War Raiders, are fucking stars. Can we start booking them like some, please, moving forward? I would really appreciate it. Rusev and Nakamura actually had matching colors, which was a first for me. It's a start. I don't know if Nakamura is even staying with the WWE at this point, but hey, you got to start somewhere. Ricochet and Cesaro had a fucking crazy exchange of around the horn that ended in Ricochet hitting his signature head scissors. It seemed like it went on forever. And it was absolutely picture perfect, man. Cesaro is so fucking good. People do not realize how good and fluid the man really is. Cesaro executed the longest Cesaro swing on Ricochet that I have ever seen. The fact that he was still standing after that is a testament in itself. And the entire time he was swinging Ricochet, Sheamus clubbed forearms on every man that was in that match. Unbelievable spot. One of the best spots of the entire show. Go to Cesaro and Sheamus. All four teams tried a massive Tower of Doom, another typical spot that you can't get away from in these multi-man matches, just as bad as the fucking sneak under the ring technique in the Battle Royals. But Ricochet was the only man who rolled through of this massive Tower of Doom. Everybody else suffered the impact of it. Sheamus and Ricochet were the legal men. Ricochet hit a beautiful 630 on Sheamus, only to be broken up by literally everyone in the match. Jey Uso tagged himself in, but Cesaro caught him midair with a huge European uppercut. Jimmy super kicked Cesaro. Rusev Machka kicked Jimmy. Black Mass by Aleister Black on Rusev. Nakamura Kinshasa Black. Sheamus then hit a bro kick on Ricochet, who sold the shit out of it. Literally turned him inside out. I think everybody was marking out at this point because literally everybody hit their finishing moves. Jey went back for a super kick. Sheamus blocked it. Both Usos gave stereo super kicks to Sheamus. That took him out. They positioned Sheamus in the middle of the ring, then went up on the turnbuckles on opposite sides. One Uso here, one Uso here. Flew together, met in the middle of the ring with a double splash for the 1, 2, 3. The Usos rightfully retain the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Like I said, the match was put together in 5 days. It actually ended up being one of the best matches, fun matches on WrestleMania. I don't expect any, classic wrestling here, like we've seen with War Raiders, Ricochet, and Black on TakeOver New York. These multi-man matches are always so chaotic, especially these fatal four-ways. Always so chaotic. There's no story here. It's just spot after spot after spot. Now, the tag team division, tag team situation in WWE, we all know is abysmal right now. We all know that, but this was a fun match. Everyone, and I mean everyone, got a spot to shine in this match. Everyone from Black Ricochet to Rusev Nakamura even. They got time to shine. I hope this moves Ricochet and Black onto separate storylines, and I hope WWE focuses on getting the Usos some new teams to work with a focus on rebuilding the tag team division. Not everything can be as good as what we've seen in NXT with their match on Friday, but this week, is the best time to start, with the shows after WrestleMania being the perfect place to do it, meaning Raw and SmackDown. Please, let's get some focus on tag team wrestling. You got a lot of talented, quality teams in WWE. I hate to see teams and guys in the division wasted for absolutely no reason. Right team won here. Really fun match. I enjoyed the shit out of that. Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Falls count anywhere. Now, I said it leading into this match that this was one of the better booked matches going into WrestleMania. And I firmly still stand behind that. I thought it was great. It wasn't the best thing that I've seen going into WrestleMania, but WWE really did an admirable job about booking Shane McMahon and The Miz. Everything kind of fell into place and was one of those situations where everything was given time to breathe. It was a nicely planned, well thought out storyline. It was simple, but it was well thought out and it was executed very well. The addition of The Miz's father, George Mizanin, had a nice little touch to it. Now, this match was false count anywhere. Greg Hamilton did Shane's entrance 3 times. 3 times. I don't know why he didn't get the memo from the last 3 episodes of SmackDown Live, but he eventually got it right. He announced it normal, like a dumbass. Shane McMahon, from the ramp, wanted him to do it again. He knew he fucked up, so he did it 3 fucking times. I don't know why, like I said, he didn't get the memo from SmackDown Live, but I love the gimmick. I love the gimmick of Shane McMahon bullying Greg Hamilton because it's such a prick move. I think I love it because I could see myself doing the same fucking thing. And Greg Hamilton is a really, really talented motherfucker. I love his ring announcing. Miz got fireworks for his entrance. Don't know why. Only went to get fireworks up until this point. Roman Reigns blew that out of the fucking water. Miz's dad is by ringside. Same spot he sat in during Fastlane. Shane tried to grab George Mizanin early, already trying to gloat Miz early on. Miz chased Shane, and Shane jumped into the crowd. Miz tried to jump the barricade, but he got punched mid-air, and he landed right over the barricade in front of the steel steps. Shane cleared off the American announce table, hit Miz with a monitor, one of the monitors on the American announce table, and Graves said, "Now that's must-see TV." Ha ha ha. Miz was laid out on the table. Shane went for his diving elbow drop off the top, and Miz's dad jumped the barricade. Put his hands in the air. Don't jump. Please don't jump, Mr. McMahon. Put his hands up in the air to stop Shane from jumping. Shane was going to do his signature diving elbow drop through the table. George Mizanin, 68 years old, got in the ring with Shane McMahon. Dude could barely get into the fucking ring and get in between the ropes. He got in the ring eventually. Shane showed George how to position his fists in a fist fight. And then he kicked him in the fucking stomach. George Mizanin goes down. He's in the corner. Miz comes to. He awakens from the table. He was lying on the table. And he tackles Shane off of his father. Now, at this point, I wish WWE would have did a better job here. Miz's dad has the worst acting skills I think I've ever seen. Now, the Miz's dad, he was laying on the ground, and his acting skills were shining through, and they were lame as fuck. They really were. I'm sorry. I am not here blasting 68-year-old George Mizanin. I just think that WWE could have did a better job at shooting this entire thing, because the way I see it, I know he's 68 years old, but The Miz asking him if he's okay, and George very nonchalantly saying, yeah, I'm okay, with the camera on him when he's supposed to look hurt, looked a little ridiculous in my opinion. The camera angle was fucking awful. That's something that you guys at the show did not see. I'm just letting you know what I seen on television. Shane and Miz then went into the crowd and started brawling on the ramp to one of the support structures. Clearly, it's the same thing the last time WWE was at MetLife Stadium. They got these support structures, these beams, right, that are scattered around the ringside area. There was a ramp supporting one of these beams. They were fighting on top of that. So that was pretty cool. And Miz then starts beating Shane with the steel chair. In the leg, in the back. Someone in the crowd at this point, I had to point this out. Someone in the crowd, while Shane was being beaten with a steel chair, shown on television, had an Oliver 316 sign. There you go. No mention of John Oliver, though, on this show. I don't even know if he showed up at WrestleMania. But he had the invite. Come learn about our company, says WWE. They completely destroyed the entire announce position of all the foreign announce teams. Every single fucking one of them had their desks destroyed. That eventually led Miz to chokeslamming Shane through one of them. I don't know which one it was. Maybe it was Funaki. I don't know. But all of them got destroyed. Miz chokeslammed Shane through one of them. Miz took a small monitor that was laying in the rubble, and he hit Shane with it, launching Shane over a guardrail, and he landed down below. He landed actually on top of the roof of a golf cart. Pretty cool spot there. They brawled into a production tower where the cameras are positioned. There's a production tower where the cameramans are positioned high above. They're in this production tower, and Miz delivering a skull-crushing finale to Shane McMahon on the floor of one of these production towers. Shane took what looked to be a small production box or a toolbox and hit the Miz in the head, and then he tried to climb away. He's in the production tower, climbing even higher in the production tower on one leg, because the Miz took the steel chair and bashed Shane McMahon's leg with the steel chair into a steel barricade that was in the crowd. So Shane McMahon got away. They both eventually ended up in the upper platform of the production tower, and I swear to God, it looked like, if you guys watch Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat, it looked like the Johnny Cage Scorpion scene where they're fighting on that wooden tower before they make their way down into the rubble of fucking Skull and Bones, and Scorpion lifts his mask off and he tries to burn Johnny Cage, but Johnny Cage finds a shield on the ground and he blocks the fire, and then he jumps and slices Scorpion's throat and he burns and he blows up. It reminded me of that for some reason. I don't know why. But man, that's a good fucking movie. It's a good movie. One of my favorites of all time. Shane was apologizing at this point. Please, I'm sorry, as he's dancing on the edge of the production tower. Miz said, fuck you. Not legitimately, but he said, fuck you. Started punching Shane repeatedly. And then he suplexed Shane down below, off the production tower, through a staging area. Shane actually landed on the Miz, and the referee counted Shane as the winner. And there you go. I thought the Miz was going to win this match, but we get WWE with illogical booking. What else is fucking new? This was a fun Falls Count Anywhere match up until the fucking ending. The ending left a lot to be desired. This had the makings of ending this feud, moving The Miz on to something else, and getting Shane McMahon off fucking television. The story was nicely told, and Miz's dad got involved. I didn't think he was actually going to get in the ring, but he did. Continuing where they left off from Fastlane, everything was going good. It honestly has been one of the better book storylines, like I said, coming into WrestleMania. I'm not sure how I feel about the ending. Some people might be thinking I'm too critical, but the ending itself looked very soft and very safe. Clearly, WWE with these big spots, there's a bunch of airbags, and there's no real impact. There was no impact at all on this superplex off the fucking production tower. The visual of it was great, seeing The Miz suplex Shane McMahon in midair from a high distance, but it really didn't do much other than give you a cool visual. I'm sorry. Shane winning really didn't make any sense, and I hoped that it would end the feud here so it gets Shane off TV for a bit and The Miz can move on to something else. But what this tells me is that they have no plans for The Miz, and they are continuing this feud a little bit longer out of sheer laziness creatively. Shame on you, WWE. You got to be better than that. I think we're all over it after this match. I know I am. It's a fun match nonetheless, but the ending left a lot to be desired. I think everybody wanted The Miz to win so we can move on to something new. And here we are, continuing something that should have ended going into the fresh start after WrestleMania. Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ. I think I honestly got up at this point and I left my television. I really did. Sasha Bayley. Now you knew they were fucked right from the beginning because the Bayley buddies did not pop up when they were supposed to. When you know the Bayley buddies don't even want to be a part of the fucking match, you know that the Boston Hug Connection are doomed. Sasha and Bayley, Nia Jax, Tamina, like Solomonster said, the Samoan sleeping pills versus the Iconics, probably two of the worst professional wrestlers on the face of the fucking planet, and Beth Phoenix and Natty for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. This was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Nothing memorable about it. This was catered for WWE main event. But here it is on WrestleMania. The only thing of note here with the entrance is that Natty and Beth Phoenix came down the aisle with Bret the Hitman Hart. So seeing him in good state or good condition after some fucking idiot tackled him at the Hall of Fame, I'm sure we'll talk about that on Off the Script. So seeing him in good spirits and hearing his theme music actually was fucking great. I love Bret Hart, one of my favorites of all time. The Iconics had decent ring attire. Billie Kay looked like a little devil with black horns, and Peyton Royce looked like she had actual ring gear on. Now learn how to wrestle. You got the in-ring, you got the ring gear right, now you got to get the in-ring aspect right, which you won't because you're fucking garbage. Super glam slam on Bayley by Beth Phoenix, and Billie Kay knocked her out of the ring, stole the pinfall and the titles. Now, I ranted on social media about this. The women's tag team titles are doomed. They are absolutely dead. WWE introduced these titles in February at the Elimination Chamber. It took them till April to kill them completely. The tag team division in WWE, as far as the women go, after tonight, is absolutely 100% fucking dead. I swear to God, I wish Sasha and Bayley would walk out, go right into Jacksonville, and become elite. This company, WWE, does not deserve the services of Sasha Banks and Bayley. There was absolutely no reason why they took the titles or why they should have taken the titles off of Sasha and Bayley. And you know what people were telling me? I'm glad the Iconics won because they're the only legit tag team in this match. Legit tag team? They don't even know how to fucking wrestle. Sasha and Bayley are best friends. Legit team. And one of the best women's main events in the history of this company. Nobody knows themselves better than Sasha and Bayley. What are you, fucking mental? Sasha and Bayley, first of all, no way, even if they retained the titles, no way they would have been able to bring these titles to prominence with the type of teams that they are throwing in front of them. It's either NXT or bust. Now we're not going to get, I hope to God that something changes before we get to June. The Iconics are fucking terrible. I don't even think they fucking performed a wrestling move in this match. Sasha Banks and Bayley should have been the tag team champions going into NXT because NXT has a standalone takeover in San Jose. That would have been a perfect opportunity, being that either Io or Kyrie did not win. Neither, I should say, Kyrie or Io won the Women's Championship. That would leave them free for June to challenge Sasha and Bayley. Sasha and Bayley performed like they did not even want to be there tonight. They had defeated written all over them before they even had the bell ring. This match was absolutely fucking miserable. Goes to show you that the WWE, you all wanted tag team titles. Now look, now you got the titles being held by two of the worst professional women's wrestlers on the face of the planet. At this point, just because of this booking decision, I thought WrestleMania was a very good show up until this point. I really did. The fact that this decision was made brought the fucking overall score down at least 5 points. That's how fucking terrible of a booking decision this is. Now the Iconics, what are they going to do with the tag team title? Who are they going to defend the tag team titles against? Man, I can't wait to see the barn burners of the Iconics versus the fucking Samoan Steakhouse. Or the Iconics versus Naomi and Lana. Or better yet, the Iconics versus the Sky Pirates. Man, I can't wait. Fuck out of here. Go back to Australia and never come back to the WWE ever again. Please, do me a favor. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. Everybody's grand moment. We all wanted to know what was going on here. WWE has Kofi Kingston on this 11-year journey. Is he going to win the title? Is he going to be the fourth black WWE champion? And I'm including the World Championship because WWE will not acknowledge Kofi Kingston in the realm of which you want them to acknowledge him. But WWE had Kofi Kingston on this 11-year journey, no matter how convoluted it was with gauntlet match after gauntlet match. Vince McMahon taking him out of the main event, trolling him, all the fucking racism undertones of this angle. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan was probably the one match that everybody was looking forward to most. I was looking forward to this. Now, they had very basic entrances for both guys. Crowd was very behind Kofi, but something was very bizarre. Here. There was a black podium out by ringside with what looked to be, now nothing was on this fucking podium. It looked like there was a belt underneath a black cloth on the podium. I don't know what the fuck was going on. So all of a sudden we see Big E pull out a huge box, a huge present with a big bow wrapped around the box. Pulls out this box from the timekeeper's area. And then all of a sudden we don't see the podium again in the shot of the New Day, but they already ruined the fucking shot by showing us that there was clearly a fucking title underneath this black cloth. Now, I'm not sure what happened in between this, but as soon as Daniel Bryan made his entrance and he had his eco-friendly title, his title was placed on top of the podium, and I'm under the impression that there's two titles there now. That Bryan's title is there, and there's a new title for Kofi Kingston. So WWE already gave away the winner to the match before the bell even fucking rung. That's not even the worst part. WWE released, mid-match, they released a new t-shirt on WWE Shop for Kofi Kingston that has Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods' face in the WWE Championship. A new Kofi Kingston t-shirt went live on WWE Shop during the fucking match. Did you think WWE was going to get away with that one? Nothing they do remains secret for a minute. Gone. Completely ruined. I don't understand why WWE was so nonchalant about the outcome. Because honestly, it could have swung either way. Daniel Bryan could have easily won this match and made everybody fucking salty. I would have loved it. Would have been great. I would have been okay with Kofi Kingston winning this match as well. But WWE seemingly gave away the winner before the bell even fucking rang. I was hoping that wasn't the case. And I'm glad when I tweeted it out, I wasn't the only one who asked this very important question. Kofi Kingston springboarded off the top rope to the outside, missed whatever the fuck he was going for. I don't know if he was going for a crossbody or an elbow or a drop kick, but whatever he was going for, he landed on the announce table, chest first. Looked brutal, sounded great. Bryan had ultimate control at this point after some nice back and forth to start the first 5 minutes of the match. Bryan and Kofi were in the middle of the ring. Bryan had Kofi face down, draped over the middle rope. This is a little bit better than the Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy spot, but Bryan had Kofi face down, draped over the top rope, and he delivered a huge jumping knee right to the back of Kofi's shoulder blades. Nicely done. Bryan with another running drop kick to the face. Bryan charges again, but Kofi leaps with a stomp. Kofi tried to follow up, but Bryan immediately applies a half Boston Crab, makes it into a full Boston Crab, but Kofi makes it to the bottom rope, and the hold is broken. Bryan placed Kofi on the top turnbuckle, and after 3 attempts, Kofi knocked Bryan back. He knocked Bryan off and followed up with a big splash right across Bryan's back for a near fall. Kofi dropped Bryan with an SOS, but Bryan turns it into the label lock in the middle of the ring. Nowhere for Kofi to go. Now, Bryan unloads with elbows to Kofi and repositions the lock. At this point, people are worried. Kofi finally breaks the hold with his foot on the bottom rope. So that's the second time Kofi managed to get away from a submission by Daniel Bryan. Bryan delivers a kick while Kofi is on his knees. The New Day cheers Kofi on from the outside. They were really getting the crowd going at this point. Kofi gets up and dares Bryan to hit him some more. That adrenaline is flowing. He's feeling the fucking 82,000, which we'll talk about later. He's feeling the 82,000 at MetLife Center. Fans are going crazy. Bryan fights back. They're going at it. Kofi counters, catches Bryan, dropping him face first with a reverse suplex. I don't know if there was a miscue here in this spot, but it looks like Kofi didn't want to go for that move, but he ended up doing the reverse suplex anyway. It ended up looking really cool. Bryan rolled to the floor, out to Rowan. Rowan saved him. Kofi approaches Bryan, but Rowan just stands there dwarfing over Kofi Kingston. Woods runs over, but Rowan sends him into the announce table. Big E then comes over to put his nose where it doesn't belong. Big E comes over next, but he gets dropped. Kofi with a Trouble in Paradise on Eric Rowan. Big E scoops Rowan up, and a midnight hour is given to Rowan as Woods leaps off the announce table for the assist and the midnight hour. Bryan runs the ropes, but Kofi catches him, and Kofi enters the ring. Bryan avoids Trouble in Paradise, delivers the big knee. Kofi somehow kicks out at 2. Bryan grabs Kofi by the arms and starts stomping his face repeatedly, brutally. Woods and Big E, a word on the outside. More back and forth. Can't put him away. Bryan goes for the label lock again. Kofi slides out of it. Mounts Bryan with strikes. Kofi, remember how he had his face kicked in? He delivered the same thing to Bryan. He holds Bryan's arms and starts kicking him in the face. Fans are chanting yes with every kick to Bryan's face. Kofi stands and plays to the crowd. New Day Rocks is ringing out at MetLife Center. Bryan gets up. Kofi drops him with the Trouble in Paradise. And like that, we have a new WWE champion. After this was over, this was great. This was honestly great. I felt for Kofi. I really did. Kofi's facial reaction when the 3 count was made was fucking priceless. What was even more priceless was Xavier Woods and the fact that genuine tears were falling because Xavier Woods and Big E believed in Kofi more than anybody in the WWE. They were lobbying for this to happen well before he was even replaced Mustafa Ali, even before he replaced Mustafa Ali in that Elimination Chamber. They were lobbying for this well before that. So Xavier Woods crying almost made me actually start tearing up. So Kofi's wife, kids were there. They got into the ring. They unveiled a new t-shirt. Obviously, what I mentioned before with the podium, yes, the old WWE Championship, the modern WWE Championship, the new WWE Championship, Not a new belt specifically made for Kofi, but the one that AJ Styles had. It was underneath the black cloth. It had Kofi's side plates on it already. That was presented to him. They unveiled a new t-shirt. Big celebration. Everybody was going crazy in the ring. The crowd was hot. I actually stopped taking notes for this match midway through because I wanted to fully immerse myself in this moment, because I legitimately thought that this was the one true WrestleMania moment outside of the women's match on this show. Now, this match was great. It was no Gargano Cole Classic from Friday, but it was a great match nonetheless as far as main roster standards go. Kofi was obviously nervous. Now, I know you guys noticed that as well. Some of you pointed out to me on social media, Kofi was obviously nervous. There were spots, there were moves, there were situations that are very academic to him that I noticed slight mess-ups on and some sloppiness, which is okay. This is his first WWE title match at WrestleMania, and he did great nonetheless. The intensity was there. The story was there. Bryan played a great heel throughout this entire story and tonight as well. Toying with Kofi, getting slightly cocky. Kofi played the valiant come-from-behind babyface. Great. Never gave up. At the end of it all, Kofi won with a Trouble in Paradise that we all knew when it happened. It was the go-home spot. It was the winning move, and he was going to win the title. Now, I mentioned WWE had the black podium by ringside that had a new title with the Kofi nameplates on it because, they had it all laid out, which was stupid of them. This happened before Bryan even came out. He's seen something covered in the black cloth. Big E pulled out the box like I mentioned. Then Bryan came out. His title was placed on the podium to kind of hide the title that was underneath the black cloth. WWE spoiled the ending before the bell even rang. On top of that, like I mentioned, I was receiving texts that WWE spoiled the ending online because they had a new shirt go up on sale on WWEshop.com. I wish WWE was more careful about this and more careful with things like this because it honestly, like I said, could have swung either way. Any way you look at it, Kofi's your new WWE champion, whether it's for a week, a month, or up until the next Saudi show. It doesn't really make a difference. He's the WWE champion. It was the right decision at the end of the day, especially after the way the story was told, and it was worthy, 100% of a WrestleMania moment, and something that will honestly be talked about for years to come when you look back at great WrestleMania moments. This was one of the best things of the entire night. Genuine emotion. I'm happy for Kofi Kingston. Let's move on from all of this. I still stand behind what I think. Kofi is going to be a transitional champion. That title is either going back to Daniel Bryan or someone else as WWE takes SmackDown Live to Fox 5. So I'm just letting you know. Or Fox Sports, Fox 5 here in New York City. I'm letting you guys know. Enjoy it now. It's not going to last. Kofi Kingston is not going to have a CM Punk WWE title reign. Live the moment. Enjoy it now. Enjoy it while it lasts. It's going to end very briefly. It's going to be a very brief title run. So, hope you guys enjoy it and get the most out of it. Because before you know it, he's not going to be WWE champion anymore. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Booker T came out to do commentary, complained that the match was too short and he didn't have enough time out there. Goodbye. I wish this was the case for fucking JBL. Had to hear him on the pre-show and during the Kurt Angle match. Rey Mysterio went for a 619, hit it, immediately went to the top rope instead of doing his usual springboard splash off the top rope. Joe caught him off the top rope, off the top turnbuckle. Mysterio got caught in the coquina clutch. He passed out. Joe retains the United States Championship. Nothing more, nothing less here, folks. Done. Literally a minute. Joe retains the United States Championship in less than a minute. This match was over before it even began. Now, it is known that Rey Mysterio is hurt. Mysterio said he was about 90% ready for this match. I don't know whether he posted that on Instagram or Twitter, but I heard that he was about 90% ready for this match with his knee being injured. Clearly, WWE was not pleased he was at 90% and took the chance with the 10% being a possible re-injuring of the knee or making it worse. They did not want to risk any more to the injury, and they went straight to a squash match for Mysterio at Mania against Samoa Joe. Now, I'm not complaining about this whatsoever. Rey Mysterio's loss is Samoa Joe's gain. Joe missed the last 2 WrestleManias for whatever reason. WWE didn't have anything for him, or they didn't want him on Mania for whatever reason. He was hurt. This was his first WrestleMania. It's usually the other way around for him, and this time his opponent was the one who could not go or was not able to go at WrestleMania. Now, I feel bad for Mysterio and would have loved to see Joe actually get a great WrestleMania match, but the truth of the matter is, A, if this match went 10-15 minutes, the show would have still been going on past 12:30. B, the U.S. title was positioned in a way that is honestly unimportant. The match was sloppily booked. Nobody gave a shit about this match. It really didn't make any sense. It was not the match that we all wanted or envisioned for the United States Championship. Either way you look at it, no matter what happened here, Joe looked like a straight fucking savage for beating Rey Mysterio the way that he did, and that is something that I am okay with, especially after the man losing and losing and losing ever since he won the United States Championship. 1 minute he beats Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. He beats Rey Mysterio in 1 minute at WrestleMania. I think that's a good night's work for Samoa Joe. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Highlights of the match. None. I legit, at this point in the show, started to fall asleep. Reigns hit a Superman punch, spear, and McIntyre lays there after destroying the entire Shield faction himself for weeks because Roman is just so untouchable. It's fucking ridiculous. Roman in a big bad city like New York that usually knows their pro wrestling, what does WWE do? They mute the fucking crowd, or they lower the crowd volume when Reign comes out. But you can't fool me, WWE. You can't fool me even at fucking 2:18 in the morning as I'm recording this. You can't fool me. They booed the shit out of Roman Reigns in the shadow of New York. And WWE doesn't want to have this new Roman Reigns fail already. The luster and appeal of Roman Reigns, truthfully, is wearing off. You see it, I see it. Stop being an ignorant fucking fool. It's going away. In fact, it's completely gone. You can only feed the people the same bullshit over and over and over again before they start fucking vomiting violently. Cut the fucking agenda and let the man wrestle without all the bullshit. Please. He is undoubtedly, no question about it, the most boring fucking wrestler, the most boring character in all of the WWE. There is nothing about the man that speaks must see. I said it for 5 years, and you fucking blithering idiots refuse to listen to me. You know who you are. The match was boring. Why? Because it was way too predictable, and the story of him fighting cancer is tiresome. The announcers didn't help either. The absolute fucking sucking of Roman's cock was fucking disgusting. The match was terrible, and it put 80,000 people to sleep. There's my review of Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. Any questions? Moving on. Elias had his musical performance. I'm expecting some big deal with Elias. How great is it to be Elias? You do nothing. You sit there, you play guitar, you play the drums, you play the piano, you play the fucking trombone, right? You play the clarinet, you play the triangle, like you're fucking sitting on, you're sitting on his porch. Dinner's ready, we got wood chips for dinner. What the fuck does he do? Elias has got the best job in all of WWE. He legitimately does nothing. Nothing. Elias' musical performance. We see a big screen. They show him playing the drums. Very badly, by the way. Piano. He's a better piano player than he is a drummer. Then he was in the ring, like he usually is with his guitar. Spotlight on him. He then played along with the 2 other Eliases that we've seen. The drummer and the pianist. Or the pianist. And he played some cheesy, simple, bluesy tune. Now, it was different. They wanted to make it stand out a little bit because it's WrestleMania. But at this point, we're all waiting the impending interruption at this point, and we all want to know, who is it? Who's going to interrupt Elias? All of a sudden, we see a special bulletin message show up on the LED board. Old school Yankees clips of Babe Ruth start playing. The calling the shot clip plays where Babe Ruth points to the fucking bleachers, hits a home run. Then all of a sudden, after this Yankee clip plays, we see Thugonomics show up on the big LED screen. Out comes John Cena to his old Doctor of Thugonomics theme music, dressed in a throwback Yankees jersey, backwards hat, big chain around his neck, brass knuckles on his hand. This was fucking great. I thought this was fucking fantastic. I actually started headbanging to his theme music. I love the beat of his theme music. So, he gets into the ring. He says the Doctor of Thugonomics is back, and Elias got the worst deal because John Cena is about to turn heel. I LOL'd. At this point, this is my favorite WrestleMania moment of the entire night. I feel like I'm watching one of my movies because this whole damn thing sucks. Cena says he's not feeling Walk with Elias. He said without the guitar, what it really means is wasted wrestling experiment. I laughed my ass off. This was fucking great. He said his style is Pitfall, whereas Elias isn't even half a dog. He's a little piece of Shih Tzu. A picture of Elias' head on a small dog showed up on the big screen at this point. Of course it did. He says he's okay, or he'd ask him to do a duet, but he showed he likes to play with himself. Cena said they call him the Golden Shovel. I'm about to bury you and bury your push. He closed with, your face looks like my nuts. And he pulls out a bag of fucking pistachios because if you know John Cena and you see the pistachios commercial and that fucking cartoon elephant on the pistachios commercial, that's voiced by John Cena. If you guys didn't know that. So he's like, your face looks like my nuts. He pulls out a bag of pistachios, but except you got a hairier bush. Elias took off his jacket. Cena says it's about time for him to leave, so there will be no AA today, but he's about to get the FU. And then at that point, he punched Elias. He does the five-knuckle shuffle. He gives him the FU, and then walks away. This was probably the best moment of the entire night. That was fantastic. If you guys don't think John Cena is one of the best ever to do it on the microphone, you are a fucking fool. Now, the only thing I question is, was this the big, important, secretive, close to the vest plans that John Cena had at WrestleMania? He didn't want to reveal that he was going to be the Doctor of Thugonomics. Was this more important than putting John Cena in a match with fucking Kurt Angle? It's the only thing that I'm upset about, but man, it was a WrestleMania moment nonetheless. There you go. Is he going to remain as the Doctor of Thugonomics? I hope. I love John Cena in that role. See what happens. Triple H versus Batista. Triple H versus Batista. You know, the bill that was supposed to be good but wasn't. Give me what I want. Raw. Good. No. That doesn't happen. Now, the highlights of this match were the entrances. Clearly the entrances. The entrances made this whole match. It's nice to see Batista's machine gun entrance again with his theme music. A, he's got some of the best theme music in the history of the company. B, his machine gun entrance is easily one of my favorite of all time, especially with the fireworks going off. Instead, the fireworks went off on the stadium rooftop instead of the stage, but easily still one of my all-time favorites. Batista had several SUVs roll out on stage with a ton of guys dressed in black suits like they were fucking secret agents. They were, suited security guards. Batista emerged from the back seat of one of the SUVs that was centered right on the stage. He walks out, comes out all nasty and angry, slams the door, does his entrance. Triple H, of course, has his usual over-the-top, self-absorbed entrance, but I gotta admit, it was fucking awesome. Epic scene on the LED board that looked like something that it was out of Mad Max, or it was like Fast and the Furious with cars crashing in a desert. The stage opened up on the left side, and Triple H came out riding the back of one of the craziest looking hot rods I ever seen. This hot rod was covered with chains and skulls. He was wearing a mask and his signature leather jacket. The mask had a face of the devil on it looked like, with his signature leather jacket, like I said. So the entrances were great. You know, it's funny how nobody else gets entrances like that, but the only one to get one like that is Batista and Triple H. You know, Charlotte got one, and Ronda Rousey had Joan Jett play her to the ring. But nobody else. Nobody else. I guess nobody else really matters. Nobody else is important to WWE. Now, this was a gimmick match. Clearly, all the bells and whistles of a no-holds-barred match. A toolbox and a large chain was used early on in this match by Triple H. The chain was draped in Batista's mouth and all across his face. This match went into crazy territory fast. Triple H took out a pair of pliers because the toolbox was used, and obviously when the toolbox was used, it opened and out came the tools. So Triple H took a pair of pliers and wrenched Batista's fingers back with the pliers and stopped his hand with the plier, or stomped, I can't even fucking talk. It's 2:30 in the morning. Get off my balls. So he snapped his fingers back with the pliers. He puts his hand in the pliers. He bends his hand back with the pliers still applied, and he stomps on his hand on steel steps that are on the outside of the ring. Triple H then took a steel chair, draped it, they're in the ring now, draped the bottom of the chair across Batista's throat, and he took a pair of needle nose pliers and proceeded to pull out Batista's nose ring out of his nose. The thought of it was sickening. The sight of it was sickening. Now, they played it off really nicely here. They played it off well. And it was a really done spot in a terrible manner. Batista, realistically would have been dripping blood all over the place if Triple H yanked that motherfucker out of his nose. After the fact, he did take the nose ring out, and he showed it, and he threw it away somewhere. It was still a sick spot, though. I don't know what was worse, Randy Orton putting his fucking finger in Jeff Hardy's ear or this one. You guys decide. I don't know. Triple H wrapped up. All I know is that these Evolution guys are fucking sick fucks. Triple H wrapped the steel chain around his hand after this spot, missed a huge shot on Batista, and Batista slammed him into the American and Spanish announce desks. Arriba. Batista in control. After several, I don't know why I said that. After several minutes of, I'm losing my fucking mind, man. I'm exhausted. Long weekend. After several minutes of Batista in control, he sets up a pair of steel steps on the Spanish announce table and teased a Batista bomb. Triple H counters it. Back body drops Batista on the American announce table. It doesn't break. Triple H gets up, does the DX crotch chop on the table, and spears Batista through the German announce table. Triple H, slow to get up, goes underneath the ring, grabs his trusty best friend, the sledgehammer. Batista is in the ring and spears Triple H with the sledgehammer in his hand. Batista has the sledgehammer now. Triple H knocks it out of his hand and goes to Batista and gets caught with a spine buster. Batista bomb and Triple H kicks out. Batista is showing his age. The spear looked terrible. Spine buster looked better, and the Batista bomb didn't look all that good either. Batista set up steel steps in the ring. He was looking to slam Triple H off the top rope with something. I don't know what the fuck he was going for. Triple H slides through Batista's legs as if he's fucking Ricochet. Slides through Batista's legs. Power bombs Batista on top of the steel steps. Batista bounces off the steel steps. Lands in the ring. Follows up with the pedigree. And only gets a 2 count. Batista got up. Triple H looked to slam the sledgehammer into Batista's stomach. And countered with a DDT on the steps, did Batista. Triple H's head bounced off the steel steps, looked brutal, especially for a spot that Triple H took. Looked really good. I don't know where Ric Flair comes out. I don't know where he came from. Might have came from the crowd. He might have been sitting ringside. I don't know. This was not known to anybody before the bell rung. Ric Flair came out, handed Triple H another sledgehammer. Triple H up, jumps off the steel steps with Flair's sledgehammer, nails Batista in the face, followed up with another pedigree to finally end this no-holds-barred match. Triple H's career lives on for another 6 WrestleManias. There you go. This match, honestly, in my eyes, the show peaked with Kofi Kingston. This match ended around 11:15 p.m. And all I was thinking at this point was, this show honestly should have been over at this hour. Even before this. Can I also say at this point, all I was thinking is, man, we got Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor, Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle left on top of the main event. And this match was over by 11:15, 11:20. This match went way too long. Matches like this need to go. They need to go away from being put on WrestleMania. I don't give a fuck who you are or who you're analyzing or what you do in the industry. Matches like this do not belong on WrestleMania. The build was supposed to be the key to this match, and they even failed at doing that. I didn't find anything entertaining at all. They both gave a valiant effort here. I was happy to see Batista back, but it was the build that everybody was most excited for, and they didn't deliver. They didn't sell you on what they wanted to do here. Then we get the match. Clearly, the no-holds-barred stipulation was used to give these guys as many outs as possible. But if every Triple H match that he wrestles, if every match that Triple H wrestles needs a no-holds-barred stipulation or all these bells and whistles just for him to get by, I think it's about time he fully embraces the office and the headset in Gorilla at NXT. Instead of making him stand out with grand entrances at WrestleMania, delivering subpar performances. I'm just being honest. This match didn't do anything for me as far as the grandeur of WrestleMania. It just showed you that Batista is done. He got what he wanted. He wanted to pay it forward with Triple H. Triple H is clearly old and should not be in the ring at his age. Neither of these guys or anybody like them should be in the ring at WrestleMania. Their time is over. WrestleMania needs to go forward with building new stars and giving the fucking show to the youth of the company. Not shit like this. Not saying that this was a bad match. I'm just not saying that people are going to remember this by the end of the night. The one thing that people are going to remember with this match is the nose ring spot, and that's about it. Nothing else to this match even remotely interested me. At this point, I was just fucking tired. Moving on. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Man, I know you're fucking excited about this one. JBL's out for commentary. I think everybody ran for the fucking hills as soon as they announced that. This show is really dipping at this point as far as I'm concerned. Crowd is dead at this hour. Legit exhausted. Remember how hot they were at 7 p.m.? Yeah, I don't either. Highlights of this match. None. None. At all. Deep six for a near fall by Baron Corbin. Angle came back with the Angle slam for a near fall. Angle dropped his straps like he was fucking 20 years younger. Applied the ankle lock. Corbin rolled out of it, sent Angle face first into the corner turnbuckle. Corbin waved his hand in front of his face and did the John Cena, you can't see me. You know, there were rumors that Baron Corbin was going to be replaced before this match actually took place. Or I think the rumor was John Cena was going to come back out and special guest referee this match. None of that happened. I don't think none of it really would have mattered anyway. But he did the, you can't see me. He said, Kurt, you can't see me. I wish I didn't have to see the rest of this fucking show. Corbin said that because Corbin knows how many people want Cena, and obviously he wanted to troll everybody. So Angle then followed up with a series of unreleased German suplexes. Angle then climbed the top rope, went for a moonsault. He's got better fucking form than Charlotte Flair does. Who would have thought? He missed anyway. Corbin moved out of the way. Corbin then gave Angle his end of days and scored the 3 count. At the end of the match, Angle says, thank you. He loves everybody. He wanted his theme music to play because the last thing he wanted to hear was the 2 words that were synonymous with his career. You suck. No, the 2 words you suck go synonymous with Monday Night Raw. The 2 words you suck go synonymous with the end of this fucking show. This match was awful. Thank God it lasted as short as it did, just for the simple fact of JBL out there on commentary. Fucking asshole. The Demon, Finn Balor, versus Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship. You know, we're coming close to the end of this review, folks. I can't believe it either. Finn Balor came out. First of all, Bobby Lashley came out as champion. I think he was introduced first. I think I remember. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. That's how little attention I was paying. Bobby Lashley came out first with the Intercontinental title. Some champion you are when you introduce first. Finn Balor then came out with the Demon entrance. It didn't do anything for me. It's WrestleMania. You think the Demon entrance would be grand and special. It would be fucking unbelievable. I sat there. Nothing. No emotional investment with the fucking Demon at WrestleMania. The first time we're seeing it. Nothing. The figure of Balor, I gotta admit, the figure of Balor in the Demon on the huge podium that was on the stage as it descended, it looked fantastic. But the fact that we know this shit was booked simply just because I can't invest myself in it. It was cool, and it actually fucking mattered in NXT, and he showed up randomly. The whole thing with the Demon was, he never knew when he was going to show up. He showed up whenever the fuck he wanted. Now, he's showing up, and it's planned. How is that special? When you announce the Demon is going to be somewhere, you take all the fucking special feeling out of it. On the main roster, it just happens with no planning, just for a simple pop in front of a dead crowd at WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley had green contacts in his eyes. How intimidating that Bobby Lashley needs to fucking have green contacts like he's some fucking night prowler. You know? How intimidating is he? No matter what the fuck he's wearing and what he dresses himself up as, he's fucking garbage. Balor's entrance was longer than the fucking match at this hour, and with the shape of this feud and how it was built, thank God. Absolutely the right decision. Balor wins the Intercontinental title in predictable fashion with the coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Match was over before I could even fucking settle myself in for the main event. Thank God. Nobody will remember it tomorrow morning anyway. Or this morning, rather, whenever the fuck you're listening to me. WWE announced, they had Alexa Bliss come out and announce that the attendance in MetLife Center was 82,265. I'm sure that number is inflated by 5 to 10,000 or so. Alexa Bliss said that it was time for a break. The amount of fucking hatred and disgust that was heard visibly and audibly in the crowd at this point, in the shadow of New York, they groaned and moaned with the word or the thought of break. You sat us here for fucking 7.5 hours and now you want to give us a fucking break when all we want to do is go home? So out came the duo of R-Truth and Carmella. And they were out there and nobody gave a shit. No reaction at all to the 7-second dance break. I wish everybody would have just, realized at this point, you were expecting this to happen. You knew that this was coming. You knew that you were going to be feeling this way, and you set yourself up with this false sense of hope. Unreal. I'm glad you all felt that way because you deserve it. Nobody listens to me. Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. Here we are. Winner take all. Winner take all. Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. All the convoluted storylines, all the arrests, all the knee injury angles, all the suspensions, everything. Everything is here. Everything is going to come to an end. Charlotte is shown making her way into the arena by a fucking helicopter. She's sitting in the helicopter wearing a leather jacket with the SmackDown Live Women's title around her waist, and she's looking out the window of the helicopter as the helicopter is surrounding and flying around the MetLife Center. Yes, I know it's MetLife Arena. Please. I'm just fucking poking fun at what Hulk Hogan said earlier. If you didn't get the fucking joke. Because it wasn't funny then. I know it's not funny when I say it. Now, they landed the helicopter, and they legit rolled out the red carpet for Charlotte Flair. She took off her leather jacket and was helped with putting on her signature robe. The announcement was made for the match, and I figured Charlotte would be the first shown, making that grand entrance and all into the arena. Nothing. They stopped, and they went right into Ronda Rousey's entrance. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts played Ronda Rousey to the ring. Not bad. I expected worse, but it wasn't bad. Charlotte came out second. Fireworks went off. An entrance fitting for a queen. Becky comes out to nothing. No helicopters, no tanks, no Conor McGregor, no Stone Cold Steve Austin, no clashing of beer bottles, fucking pouring herself with beer, nothing. Nothing. All the woman had was fucking smoke come up from the stage. No bells and whistles, like I said. No limp, no crutch, no knee brace. We're well beyond that. Just herself and the people. She never needed it. She don't need it now. WWE gave Ronda and Charlotte all these grand entrances, and I'm thinking, you gave them the grand entrances, and Becky don't need anything. All she needs is the Smackdown and Raw Women's Championships, and that's exactly what she's going to walk out with. So I love that. The simple, the better. The one thing I will say about this match is that it was fucking physical. It was physical. But at the end of it all, I honestly thought what we got was sloppy. And I'll get into that in a second. I'll touch on that in a second. But it was very physical. It was a physical match that needed to be physical just to kind of make sense of what we've seen with all three women leading up into this point. Now, they all went at each other. They go at it. They trade big shots in the middle of the ring. Flair takes out Becky's bad knee, goes right for the knee, goes to work on that. Flair's working on the arm. Flair tries to use Becky's disarm her on Becky Lynch. It's blocked. Becky tries for the figure four attempt. They go back and forth with each other. Rousey comes in, kicks Becky right in the face. She goes after Charlotte Flair. Lynch and Flair double team Rousey. For a moment, they were working together here in this match. Rousey then goes for a submission on the ropes. Becky makes the save, drop kicking Rousey to the floor. This was probably the best spot in the entire match. Rousey was upside down. She had an armbar on Charlotte as Charlotte was draped over the rope. And Ronda, like I said, had that armbar hanging upside down. Becky bounced off the opposite side of the ring, bounced off the ropes, drop kicked Ronda Rousey through Charlotte's legs, and Ronda landed back first on the apron and nailed the fucking floor down below. That was probably the best spot in the entire match. So Lynch and Flair go at it. They get some time in the ring together by themselves. Flair with a backbreaker and a face-first slam into the turnbuckles. Flair drops a knee to Becky's head. Crowd completely dead at this point. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck did WWE do here for Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte that they're having them go on last? My brother even said it today when I said to him, the show's going to go past 12 o'clock. He said the first thing out of his mouth was, the main event is going to be ruined. The main event with the length of this show is going to be fucking tarnished. And that's exactly what happened here. Flair goes for a corner moonsault, but Becky gets the knees up and goes right into the disarmer. Rousey runs in, breaks it up, working Becky over for her armbar. Flair with a running knee to Rousey's face. Flair stands up over both of them, nails a double natural selection for a 2 count on Becky, and then she goes for the same cover on Ronda, only a 2 count. Rousey gets up, working over both opponents at the same time. Rousey applies a double armbar. The armbar that's fake in the fake sport known as WWE. Yeah, the armbar that she was using and called fake, she's using it here in this match, and she thinks that it's going to work. The fake armbar. They power up. Another power bomb for Charlotte and Becky at this point. Ronda is still hanging on. Now, at this point, I believe Ronda has some really bad bruising on her right leg. You see it physically, it's bad, it starts to bruise, it gets worse progressively throughout the match. So, they deliver a power bomb on Rousey. Rousey's still hanging on. Flair and Lynch power up for another power bomb, so that's 3 power bombs. Lynch and Flair trade shots back and forth. Flair knocks Lynch out of the ring, covers Rousey for a 2 count. Lynch works over Flair for another 2 count. Kicks her out of the ring. Everything is very physical. The kicks, the punches, especially the kicks by Ronda and the kicks by Charlotte, the kicks by Becky. Everything was physical. That portion of the match, that aspect of the match, I really enjoyed. So Lynch went to apply the disarmer, keeps it locked. Rousey gets to the rope. The fake armbar that Ronda Rousey was making fun of. She's screaming in agony. And the only way out of it is she reaches the ropes. How did it feel, Ronda, when you said it was fake? Felt good, right? Yeah, I'm sure it did. Rousey is up now, charges the corner, and goes for Becky's knee. And Becky gets out of it, but Becky's knee, when she kind of gets up and lifts herself from I guess, taking Ronda's charge. Becky's knee hit Ronda's face. Flair comes back in. Rousey gets dumped out. Flair climbs up with Becky up top. Flair brings Becky to the mat with a Spanish fly. It was almost the Spanish fly gone wrong. Charlotte almost didn't make the full revolution in midair. She almost came down crashing on her fucking neck. Flair goes for Rousey, but Becky gets the disarmer on Flair. Sends Lynch into the corner. Flair kicks Becky off the apron to the floor. Rousey comes from behind, but Flair stops her and works her over and works the bad knee. Flair slams the leg around the ring post. Flair applies the figure 4 around the ring post. At this point, I know this had to fucking hurt Ronda because her leg at this point, like I mentioned, bruising badly. She was legitimately screaming. That had to fucking hurt. Lynch came to break it up. Flair ends up getting back in the ring. And I think she tried for the figure 8, but she didn't really apply it all the way. She bridged into it, but Becky comes in flying out of nowhere with an elbow drop off the top rope. Fast forward to the end of the match. Lynch brings in a table from underneath the ring. Fans come alive by the sight of, wood? Finally, some excitement from this dead fucking Walking Dead crowd. So the table's in the ring. Lynch stands the table up. Flair goes after Becky. Flair decks Lynch again, places her on top of the table. Flair goes to the top, but Rousey cuts her off and Lynch. Rousey takes the table, flips the table over on its face and says, "Fuck the table. Tables are for bitches," she said. There you go. Heel Rousey in full effect, even with the bruised leg. So, fans are booing. Rousey unloads on Lynch with strikes. Lynch tries for the disarmer on Rousey, but Flair runs in and hits a double spear on both of them. Covers Lynch, then Rousey. Flair wanted to cry right then and there. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. I'm sure Andrade will take care of you later. Flair props the table up in the corner. This is good. She slams Rousey face first into it several times. Becky comes for Flair again, but Flair hits a spear. Flair goes on and gets a 2 count on Lynch. Flair gets up, and she charges at Lynch and Rousey, but they both launch her into the table with a double hip toss, and the table does not break. Charlotte, I am unable to break tables, Flair. Because every time she is in the vicinity of a table, it doesn't break. I don't know why. Maybe you shouldn't start bringing tables with Flair in the ring anymore. That's what I say. Now, this happened. Doesn't break all the way. It doesn't break at all, really. Like a small smidgen of the table breaks. Flair is sent to the floor. Lynch and Rousey face off in the ring. They unload in the middle of the ring with strikes. Rousey gets a huge kick on Becky Lynch right to the face. Rousey hits Piper's Pit on Lynch. But Lynch, in Piper's Pit, rolls Ronda over. Pins her in Piper's Pit. 1, 2, 3. Wins the match. Wins both titles. But we have an issue. We have an issue. Now, they replayed it. I don't know if this is planned or if this was a botch. But I'm going to say this is a botch. Ronda Rousey's shoulders were not on the mat when the 3 count was made. She actually had her shoulder on the mat for the 1, and during the 2 count, her shoulders were up. The referee counted anyway. The win and the pinfall came legitimately out of nowhere. Now, I don't know what the news and rumors are going to be stating in the morning. All I know is, from what I seen, this was a fucking botch. And I do not think this was planned. I don't know what else to tell you. WWE clearly is going to run with this. This is one of those mere mistakes that now leave everything open-ended for Ronda Rousey to eventually go away and get a rematch against Becky Lynch. So WWE has an easy out here. Ronda can now claim that she really wasn't pinned. She was complaining about it. This leaves her open for a rematch against Becky Lynch. WWE can milk the shit out of this. But the way the match ended in the most anticlimactic fucking way possible, it was fucking terrible. It was completely fucking terrible. WWE needs to go into next WrestleMania with these events being shortened significantly. The fact that this show went 8 hours ruined every fucking aspect of this main event. On top of that, this event was hard fought, it was physical, and the ladies brought the intensity. But this match was underwhelming, it was overhyped, it did not live up to the hype at all, it was sloppy, it was not anywhere close to being a main event match, and you kind of took the fucking thunder away from Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan, which at the end of the night should have been the fucking main event of this show. Actually, I'm glad it's not, because Kofi would have never gotten that reaction at the 12:30 hour. WWE fucked up. WWE fucked up this entire storyline by them botching the ending. WWE fucked this storyline up by having this show go damn near 8 hours. They have nobody to blame but themselves. When you want to look back at this and you want to jam down the fucking first ever bullshit and the historic nature of the main event, you want to think about it in that sense, I'm going to look back at this main event and say, bullshit. Underwhelming, sloppy garbage that wasn't deserving of a main event at the end of the night. Maybe in November it was, but when we got the final result, this shit fucking shit the bed badly. Now you need to clean the shit up on Monday Night Raw when we should have Becky Lynch fucking absolutely 100% fucking fact walk away with the championships with no problems, with no consequences at all. And because of the sloppy nature of this match, now Becky and her moment is tarnished. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I don't know what Meltzer's going to say. I don't know what Alvarez is going to say. I don't know what the dirt sheets are going to say. All I know from what I seen, this was a fucking botch and not planned. This main event sucked. This shit was WWE absolutely fucking doing their best to ruin everything. They made such a big deal about everything, and nothing about it lived up to the hype. Nothing. Nothing. Typical WWE, typical WrestleMania, something that everybody was looking forward to, and still, we sit here with disappointment as always. WrestleMania was, listen, as far as the last decade goes, this was probably the best WrestleMania of the last decade. I can firmly say that. Last year, WrestleMania was complete fucking dog shit. WrestleMania before that, 33, was complete dog shit. For some whatever reason, God knows, for whatever fucking reason that there is, this show actually performed pretty well. By the 9 o'clock hour, I was like, holy shit, this is not a bad WrestleMania at all. Yeah, that little hiccup with the women's title match, the women's tag team title match, in that 2-hour span. Then we got Kofi Kingston, and then after Kofi Kingston, the event slowly took a nosedive. Listen, folks, this was not a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 show. Nowhere close to a 10 out of 10. Because Becky Lynch and Rollins and Kofi Kingston won their championships doesn't make this a 10 out of 10 show. There's no show that's a 10 out of 10. My favorite pay-per-view is the 1993 King of the Ring, and that's not even a 10 out of 10 show. The 2006 ECW One Night Stand show, perfect fucking show. I don't even give that a 10 out of 10 show. Come on. This show was about a 6.5 at most. I'd even go 7. But for you guys to say 9.5, you're not thinking. I sat here since 5 o'clock detailing notes to tell you guys what I thought and what I seen through 8 hours of fucking professional wrestling on a Sunday night. Up at 3:30 in the morning doing this fucking review. It's not a 10 out of 10 or anywhere close to it. WrestleMania is always the biggest show of the year, but there's always a huge disappointment that accompanies the biggest show in pro wrestling. That main event was a huge blemish on WWE going into Monday Night Raw. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the women's championships. Not only about unifying the divisions, but how they fix this fucking botch that I'm sure was Ronda Rousey's fault. Ridiculous. Good show. Not perfect. Clearly some illogical booking decisions and terrible matches. Obviously, you're going to get 1 or 2 or 3 terrible matches out of a fucking 17-match show. But all in all, I would say it was a thumbs-up show. It was the best WrestleMania in the last 10 years, and I'm more excited for Monday Night Raw than I am WrestleMania. And I'm thankful to God that all of this is over, and you guys stuck with me. I don't know when this review's going up. I'll probably fall asleep while it's uploading. Either way, thank you guys so much for joining me. Hit that thumbs up. I don't want to see anything less than 3,000 thumbs up on this video. It's WrestleMania. You guys know the fucking drill. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on both Twitter and Instagram. You know the deal with the t-shirts. The link is down below. If you missed any of the videos that I uploaded this weekend, check that eye in the top right corner of your screen. All I know is by the end of the weekend, the bar was set on Friday. WrestleMania didn't come anywhere close to what TakeOver New York was. As always, NXT on top, WWE always following behind. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys for Raw. Until then, thank you so much, and I'll see you for the Raw after Mania. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we'll see some surprises. Maybe we'll see Shayna Baszler. Maybe we'll see the Velveteen Dream. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be an exciting, newsworthy show, and I'll see you right there for Monday Night Raw. Talk to you later.